Hey, what's up? It's Michael. Today we're going to talk about the 6 mistakes every house flipper makes. So the point of this video is if you're new to investing in real estate or you're thinking about getting into real estate, these are 6 things you want to be thinking about and have at the front of your mind so you don't make these mistakes and you can be prepared for it. And I'm going to give you strategies on how to combat it if it comes up and also maybe even just avoid it. So let's talk about the first thing. The first thing that home flippers typically do is they overestimate the value of the property. Meaning that they'll do the research and they'll be like, okay, the ARV is $150,000. Let me say it this way. If you're new to investing, the ARV is the after repaired value. Meaning if there's a property that you're looking at and let's just say it's selling for $100,000, it's outdated, needs to be fixed up, maybe the basement's tore up, maybe the roof needs to be replaced, it needs to be fixed up, and after it's fixed up, then the property will sell for $150,000. So after you make your repairs, what is the value of that property? And a lot of times home flippers will be over optimistic and value the property really high. So my recommendation is if you think the property will sell for $150,000 top dollar, I would figure in about $140 just to be safe. So if you go into a flip and your numbers are tight, definitely it's a no-go. Just be patient in this process. I know in the beginning you're excited, you want to flip homes, you want to make money, maybe you want to get free from that job, and just slow it down a little bit. Like when my wife and I were flipping houses, we slowed it down. We looked at a whole bunch of properties and analyzed them, studied the market, see what other properties are selling for, and what potential properties that we could buy, what we could sell those for. And we just kept a close eye on it and watched the market. I would go to Zillow.com and I would save properties. I would see what they're listed at, and I would just kind of watch the trend to see if that price was dropping, if it was going up, how fast they were selling. And so it gave me a really good idea on the market. A specific market. You kind of want to zone in to one area and watch that area really closely and knows the trend in the area that the houses are selling fast. It's a hot area. If they're going for above the ARV, then you want to jump in on that train as soon as you can. So the second mistake that house flippers make is they underestimate the rehab cost. And so they'll say it's going to take $20,000. I done my homework. And they get into it and they realize it's going to cost $30,000. So one way to avoid this is add in a contingency into your budget. Meaning that if it's easy math, let's just say it's a $10,000 rehab, you're going to want to add in a 5% contingency, which is about $500. And so the bigger the renovation, the bigger that contingency number needs to be to protect you on whatever could come up. Like for example, we're doing a renovation right now, and we were deleting the linen closet, but when we went to remove the framing, remove the drywall, and we went to go remove the framing, and there was plumbing lines ran straight dead center of that wall. So that ended up costing an extra $350 to have those lines rerouted, shoved in a wall, and teed off and out of our way so we can continue finishing the master closet. So it's just little things like that that can add up. So make sure you add in a contingency. And also make sure that when your contractor gives you an estimate that you're asking clarity questions. Because a lot of contractors will give you a lump sum estimate and there might be some details in there that are missing that you think should be in there, but the contractor is thinking they're not intentionally. And so you just want to make sure that you prepare for any contingencies that come up, and then you're also asking clarity questions with your contractor. So then the third thing home flippers mess up on is they go into a property and they put in the materials they like. And that's not always the best thing to do. Whenever I was flipping houses down in Kansas City, I was working with a bunch of investors, my taste was bizarre to them, and so their taste was bizarre to me, but it didn't matter. I wasn't the buyer. I wasn't buying in this particular area, and so This is when I started working with interior designers, an interior designer that knew the area, knew the culture of people, and she would come in and she'd be like, okay, we're gonna do this crazy design with this tile and this herringbone design, and we'd make these shower pans in a very custom kind of weird way. Very strange to me, but those houses were selling like this. I promise you this, if I would have went in and did what I liked, that property would have stayed on the market and most likely would have turned into a rental and would have been playing the long game, or completely trashed everything, sold it to a wholesaler, and just took my losses and moved on. So make sure you know the community of people. Do not put in there what you like unless you're flipping a house right next door. If you're flipping your neighbor's house, they moved out, you bought it, then you could probably get away with it then. I still highly recommend getting an interior designer because things change. At one time it was stained cabinets, oak base trim, oak cabinets, and now that's changed. Now it's a shaker style cabinet, painted white, gray walls. It just trends change. So highly encourage you to get an interior designer. Number 5. Investors, they mess up with the contractors during the paperwork process. So when you first meet a contractor and you're going through the interviewing process, there is specific paperwork you want to get up front, not during the middle, not at the end. You want to get right up front, because this paperwork, including a W-9, so you can send a 1099 at the end of the year, the insurance, if they don't have workers' composition, you want to make sure you get a workers' comp waiver. Now, there's a whole checklist that you want to go through, and I actually included in the description a link that you can click on. Just type in your email and I will send you my checklist that I use whenever I hire contractors, and it'll just take you A through Z. Just post it on your wall and make sure, please, that you get that paperwork. If not, it will cost you thousands of dollars in taxes because you will not be able to write off the contractor, or if they don't have insurance and you forgot to request it, and there's a specific way you want to request insurance, and I have it in that checklist. To kind of keep this video short, I'm going to move on. But if they don't have insurance or provide a fake piece of paper that says this is my insurance, and if something goes wrong, you're on the hook, that contractor's gone, and it's a big mess. So make sure you download my little checklist and post that to your wall, wherever you want your business office is set up, and just so you have that, ask the same questions every single time. So the final 6th step is investors do not understand the renovation process. And if you look on Google, the nightmares of flipping houses, it always comes down to the renovation process. And so during the renovation process, there is 3 phases. There's planning, management, and closing. Each phase is critical to the success of your business, and that is exactly what I teach. I've mastered Renovations. When I read the book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, back in 2009, I knew I was going into real estate. And every course I took, they all taught me property acquisition, finding deals, how to do the research, but no one ever taught me about the renovation process. And I was just kind of stuck out there to walk through a house, take my realtor's advice, but the actual process, the day in and day out, everyone told me, go hire a contractor. And so one of the first contractors I hired, I lost $10,000. If you want to hear about that story, just comment below $10,000, and I'll do a video and I'll tell you what I did, what went wrong, and what I should have did to avoid it. But anyways, it cost me 10 grand. About 2 months before my kid was born, I laid at the kitchen table and I cried, dude. I just being real vulnerable with you. I had tears in my eyes because that was the money I saved to take 2 weeks off when my kid was being born. And anyways, I learned from it. I move on. It was just a lesson that I learned, and I just want to help you avoid the same thing. So, boom, we're done. That is the 6 things that house flippers mess up on when they're flipping houses. So if you got value from this, comment below value. And this keeps me encouraged to let me know that I'm putting out good content for you that's helping you along your journey, or even starting your journey during the house flipping business. So if you like this video, go ahead and smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified every single time I put up a new video. Have a good night. We'll talk